A boardroom in the City of London. A hand pulls a dust sheet over a partner's chair. 233 years of trading end in one weekend. The bill, £827 million. 3 months earlier, a memorandum crosses a desk at 8 Bishopsgate, 8 words long. Our systems and control culture are distinctly flaky. It is written. It is circulated. It is filed. The warning existed. So why did nobody move? Every account of Barings ends with one man in Singapore. The record is stranger. It also holds 2 internal audits, 1 risk memorandum, and 5 men in London with the authority to stop it. Most of it was published. Few read it. Nicholas William Leeson was born on the 25th of February, 1967, in Watford. His father laid plaster. His mother was a nurse. He grew up on a council estate and left school in 1985. He did not go to university. His first job was on Lombard Street at Coutts. He was 18. A clerk in a waistcoat he could not really afford. By 1989, he had passed through Morgan Stanley and into Barings Securities. Back office, settlements, the department that counts what other men have done. Barings was not a bank in the ordinary sense. Founded in 1762, 14 years before the United States existed, it was the oldest merchant bank in London. It had come close to collapse once before, in 1890, and the Bank of England had assembled the rescue that saved it. This was the house the plasterer's son walked into at 22. Early in 1990, he was sent to Jakarta to unpick £100 million of back-office chaos. He did it. In February 1992, he applied for a trader's license in London. It was refused. An unresolved county court debt claim against his name. London said no. 2 months later, Singapore said yes. In April 1992, at 25, Nicholas Leeson was appointed General Manager and Chief Trader of Baring Futures Singapore. He was given the trading floor. He was also given the settlements desk. 1 man, 2 functions. The oldest rule in banking, that the people who place the bets must not be the people who count them, quietly set aside. It was not concealed. It was in the organization chart. Summer 1992. The Nikkei futures pit on the floor of the Singapore Exchange. On the 3rd of July, a new account was opened in the Baring Futures books. Number 88888. 8 is an auspicious number in Chinese practice. A genuine error account already existed, 99002. This one was different. Registered with the exchange as a customer account, it did not appear in the daily reports sent to London. Call it what it was, the 5/8 account. Losses made on the floor went into 5/8, where London could not see them. The reported book showed profit. The real book held the whole. Why it was opened is disputed. Leeson's own account calls it cover for a colleague's error. Stephen Fay's history of the collapse argues it was deliberate from early on. The arithmetic is not disputed. By September 1992, 5/8 held roughly £6 million of losses. That December, Leeson reported profits of £10 million to London and took a bonus of £150,000. The gap between the story and the ledger had opened. It never closed. By the end of 1993, the losses inside 5/8 had passed £20 million. London knew nothing. By the end of 1994, they had reached roughly £208 million. That same year, Singapore reported profits of £28.5 million to head office. The entire derivatives division booked 37. On the reported figures, 1 man at 1 desk was producing more than 3/4 of the division's profit. 1 office, 1 product, 1 man, more than 3/4. Nobody tested it. The recommended bonus for Leeson, covering that year, was £450,000, over £1.1 million today. It was signed off weeks before the bank ceased to exist. The City of London in the early 1990s ran on deference. One did not put uncomfortable questions to a man one had been assured was competent. And the firm was two firms. One survivor of the period, quoted by Euromoney, put it plainly: "We're the bankers, heirs to 200 years of tradition, and you're the jumped-up guys from Liverpool." Between the two sat a vacuum, and in that vacuum sat one general manager, holding both the trading book and the settlements ledger. Five men in London had the authority to stop it. Their names are on the public record. Peter Baring, chairman, 59, the latest generation of the family that had run the bank since 1762. Andrew Tuckey, deputy chairman. Peter Norris, chief executive of the investment bank, appointed months before the end. Ron Baker, head of financial products. He had come from the marketing side of the business. And Ian Hopkins, director of group treasury and risk, appointed in August 1994. 5 men, 1 bank. None of them, in the phrase the Singapore inspectors later used, asked Mr. Leeson to reduce his positions. In August 1994, an internal audit flagged it. Mr. Leeson, the auditors noted, controlled both front and back office. The bank should separate the two functions, in their own words, to reduce the possibility of error and fraud. A second audit, that October, repeated the warning. Both were filed. Neither was acted upon. Then, on the 25th of November, Ian Hopkins circulated a memorandum of his own. "Our systems and control culture," it read, "are distinctly flaky." 13 weeks remained. In the weeks that followed, the external auditors queried a large receivable. Leeson sent them a letter stating that 7.78 billion yen was owed to Barings by an American firm. The transaction did not exist. He would later plead guilty to deceiving the auditors. The figures were accepted. The Kobe earthquake struck at 5:46 in the morning, local time, on the 17th of January, 1995. More than 6,000 people died. The Nikkei fell 7% inside a week. Leeson had bet the market would hold. Instead of closing, he bought roughly 20,000 further Nikkei contracts in 3 days. By mid-February, Singapore was long about 61,000 Nikkei contracts, a notional exposure of $7 billion, more than 10 times the entire trading capital of the bank that employed him. On the 6th of February, Hopkins was told of a significant financial discrepancy in Singapore. 2 days later, the group treasurer, Anthony Hawes, flew out. In a letter to the exchange that week, he stated that Baring Futures had sufficient funding, that its risks were properly monitored, and that the strategy was, in his phrase, low risk. All 3 statements were untrue. Mr. Hawes did not know they were untrue. That distinction is the whole of this story. Monday, the 20th of February, 1995. Leeson is still adding contracts. The margin calls out of Singapore are larger than any customer explanation can carry. Tuesday. In London, Ron Baker asks for clarification of the Singapore positions. He does not receive it. Thursday. A junior clerk asks for a simple position reconciliation. Leeson cannot produce one. That evening he leaves a note. 2 words. "I'm sorry." He and his wife drive out of Singapore in a hired car, cross into Malaysia, and check into a hotel in Kuala Lumpur. You would have signed it too. Every number on your desk said he was the best trader in the firm. Friday, the 24th. A cryptic fax from Leeson reaches the finance director. Peter Norris receives the first serious figures. Before the day is out, the Bank of England has been told Saturday, the 25th of February. Nicholas Leeson turns 28 in Borneo, a long way from either of his desks. At 8 Bishopsgate, the executives assemble. The governor of the Bank of England, Eddie George, is called back from a skiing holiday. Stephen Fay records the detail that outlasts the rest. During the worst hours of Saturday night, they ordered pizza. The oldest merchant bank in London, fighting for its life over cardboard boxes. Sunday, the 26th. The meeting runs the whole day. The position is marked to market at minus £625 million. In 1890, the Bank of England had assembled a rescue. In 1995, it did not. At 8:35 that evening, the governor announced the Barings could not be saved. He is reported to have said that they had come closer than he ever thought likely. Closer to what? He did not say. The losses, approximately £827 million, about 2.1 billion today, more than twice the bank's trading capital, from one desk in under 3 years. On the 6th of March, the Dutch bank ING bought Barings. The price was £1, and every liability the bank carried, some 900 million of them. About 1,200 people in Singapore lost their jobs. Hundreds more in London were left facing an uncertain future. Nicholas Leeson was arrested at Frankfurt Airport on the 2nd of March. He returned to Singapore, pleaded guilty to 2 counts, deceiving the auditors and cheating the exchange, and was sentenced to 6 years and 6 months in Changi. The Board of Banking Supervision reported in July 1995 without deletions. Its conclusion: a virtual total failure of risk management systems and controls, and managerial confusion within the Barings Group. The Singapore inspectors went further that October, framing it as an inference from the evidence, not a finding of fact. Gross negligence, or willful blindness and recklessness to the truth. Neither report led to a prosecution in London. What followed was regulatory, not criminal. Peter Baring escaped formal censure. His family's control of the bank ended with him. Andrew Tuckey and Ron Baker were each disqualified as company directors. Peter Norris was banned for 3 years by the Securities and Futures Authority and disqualified for 4. And Ian Hopkins, who spent years arguing that he had warned his seniors and been ignored, was disqualified as a director for 5. The man who wrote the warning drew the longest disqualification of any of them. Read that twice. This channel reads the paperwork the headlines skip. If that is your habit too, subscribe. So, why did nobody move? The answer is not mysterious, and it is not really about Singapore. Nobody moved because the number that should have raised the alarm was the number everyone was being paid on. A desk producing more than 3/4 of the division's profit was not a risk to be examined. It was a result to be protected. To question it was to question the bonus pool. Deference is cheaper than diligence, and for 3 years it paid better. It has paid better since, in other banks, with larger numbers. Remember the 8 words? Our systems and control culture are distinctly flaky. Written down, circulated, filed. 3 months early and entirely accurate. 233 years, £827 million. 5 men who chose the easier reading. The paperwork was never missing. It was only unread. Read the footnote. A century and a half before Singapore, another Englishman set his own traffic figures, signed his own dividends, and priced his own shares. He was never charged and kept his seat in Parliament for 10 more years. George Hudson, the Railway King. That story is already here.